Hello everyone. So in previous video we've created this sphere fracture and we've imported that into Unreal Engine, and in this video I would like to show you how to create some materials for it and create the animation blueprint as well. So basically when you press the button the animation is gonna play, and we're gonna do some tricks with the materials as well. So as you see, I've got two materials, one for the outside edges and faces, and the one for the inside. So I'm just gonna name them accordingly. So that's the outside, and that one is for the inside. So let's create the material for the outside faces first. So basically what you need to do, you need to open the material for the outside faces and delete anything that is there. So you can basically start over with me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create the color parameter first. I'm going to make it red. I'm going to create two scalar parameters as well. The first one will be for metallic with both values, default values 0.5, and roughness. Okay, for the emissive color, what I want to do, I'm going to create the Fresnel effect. Basically what it is, it adds the glow to the around the object basically. I'm going to show you in a second. I want to run it through power and multiply. Power basically because I want to control the spread of it, so basically I can shrink it and I can expand it as well. And multiply, so basically we can make it more intense in terms of color and maybe glow even. So I'll just add scalar parameter Fresnel contrast to the power and another color node to the multiply. Fresnel color. Okay. So we're gonna add some animation to it as well, but first I wanna basically show you what it is. So I'm gonna save it. And also I will create the instance material as well, mainly because you can just change values very quickly and it's gonna update on the fly. So assign the instance material to the object, double click on it, and I'm gonna shrink the window as well so you can see it, basically what I'm doing. And I'm gonna change the main color to dark green, maybe a bit more darker. For the Fresnel I'm gonna add maybe 10, and then I'm gonna ramp up the contrast basically so you can see what it does. I'm gonna stay with value 2 for now. So now let's go back to the master material and let's add some animation to it. So basically what I want animation only to be happening to this area affected by Fresnel. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add texture sample and I'm gonna multiply it with the Fresnel as well. I'm gonna add the panner node to that texture. I need texture coordinates as well, but I want to be able to control the tiling of it. So basically what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna run it through multiply. I'm gonna create two scalar parameters. Noise tile U, and that one will be noise tile V. gonna append those two. And plug it into coordinates. So basically, we will be able to tile this texture. Okay, and now for the speed as well, because I would like to control the speed of the panner as well. So I'm gonna do the same thing that I did for the texture coordinates. So basically, panner speed U, panner speed V. Okay, I'm gonna append those two. And I'm gonna add it to the speed with default value 0. Yep, and I'm gonna plug it to emissive. As for the texture, I'm gonna pick one of my noise textures. That one for now, just so we can see basically how it looks. And also I wanna turn that into parameter as well. Noise texture. Okay, save it and let's go back, test it. So as you can see, it looks already different. So let's enable all those tick boxes basically, and let's change some values, make it look good. So I'm just adding small values like 0.1 to the panner, both panners actually. And as you can see, it animates already, and it's starting to look decent in my opinion. But the thing is, I would like to control the noise texture as well. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back to the master material and I'm gonna add contrast and the multiply to the noise texture as well. Also, I just need the red channel, I don't need RGB. Noise, contrast, and noise power. I'm gonna set both default values to 1. Now basically we can increase its intensity, and we can increase the contrast of the noise texture as well. So I got many noise textures, and to be honest, you can grab them all for free from my Gameround account. I'm gonna leave the links in the description, so feel free to grab it if you want. Basically I'm using them across all of my projects, so I find them very useful. Also, if you create something really cool with it, just give me a shout and I'd love to see it. And just to demonstrate you, those are all the textures that are in this pack basically. So there's variety, and I think all of them are actually tileable, so you can increase tiling if you want, and yeah, basically just use them for whatever you want really. Okay, let's go back to the shader. So I've got this one. Let's just let me just go through a few of them and pick on the I like the best. Yeah, so I think that one looks pretty cool actually. There's this slow movement, and it's not too obvious actually, so I think I'm gonna run that one, but let me check this one as well. No, I like that one better. Okay, so yeah, basically we've got the material for the outside faces, and now let's create the one for the inside as well. Okay, so for the inside faces it will be quick and easy, because what we're actually gonna do, we are going to copy paste most of the nodes from the outside. So you select all of them, Control C and Control V, but we're gonna add few modifications to it. So we still need a color, we still need a metallic, we still need roughness, and we still need emissive, although we don't need Fresnel basically, but we need this noise function, and that should be it. Okay, so let's just change initial position to something a bit more visible. I'm gonna press G on my keyboard twice to get rid of the outline, and I'm going to create instance material for the inside faces. Okay. So I'm going to change color to this dark green. Let me go back to the master material actually, because what we need noise texture to be colored. So instead of noise power, what we could do, we can create color parameter and control color of the noise texture. Okay, cool. So let's change the noise color to that dark green. Or actually, let's go with the bright green and fully saturated as well. And what we could do, we could change the noise contrast. And if you change the V value inside of a color, it's gonna increase the intensity. And let's add panel to it as well, so it animates very slowly. 0.02 maybe? 0.02. You can change the tiling as well if you want. I'm gonna maybe stick with 2 for now. And I'm gonna actually change the noise texture to something else. I'm just going through all of them, just seeing which one I like the best. And I think I'm gonna go with the... Let's try Pelin noise. No, okay, let's go maybe with that one. I'm actually using this specific texture a lot. Okay, so now let's create a blueprint. So right click, blueprint class, actor. I'm gonna call my sphere. Double click. I'm gonna scroll down and look for auto receive input, change it to player 0. And I'm gonna drag skeletal mesh into the blueprint. choose animation mode to use animation asset and drag my animation here. Also, I'm going to disable looping and playing as well. Okay. Also, I'm just gonna rotate it a bit. Yeah, that one looks better in my opinion. And then for the elements, I'm just gonna change the materials to the one that we just made. Okay, cool. So now event graph, and basically on begin play, I like to set position to be 0, and I'm gonna right click and press N, keyboard, and there you go. We've got the M input essentially. So when pressed, we need timeline. Because what we're gonna do, we're actually gonna animate set position. So let's create float track. That one as well. We're gonna animate noise power in one of the materials that we have, but let's focus on animation first. So in animation, I'm gonna set up 2 points. The first one will be 0 and the value will be 0, so we can start essentially from the beginning, and this one will be 2.5 seconds. And somewhere in the middle we're gonna set up the maximum animation position, and to find out what's yours, you need to drag the animation into the scene, and then you see initial position here, just drag it to the end, and you can see my final position is 3.7. So I actually never go for the full value, but in this case I'm just gonna put 3.6. 3.6, okay. I'm just making those because I want animation to be a bit nicer than just go from one point to another. I'm gonna set up also curves for my animation, so right click auto, so animation can look a little bit better. Okay, that should do the trick. So let's drag animation to in position and see if that actually works. We need to drag the prefab into the scene as well. Yeah, so there you go. It seems like it's working. Also, I would like to change from press to play from the start, so basically we can keep pressing M and it's gonna be replaying the animation. Another thing that we want to do is to change the noise power essentially. So we want this to blow at the beginning and at the end of animation. Okay. And the parameter name is noise power, so to find out what's yours, if you name it differently, just go to the outside material, and then you can see that I've got noise power parameter here, which default value is 1. So what we want to do, we just want to go back to animation, to timeline, sorry, and set this up. So both those default needs to be at 1, and then maybe at the beginning we're just gonna put some crazy value like around 300. At the end we're gonna put 300 as well. And maybe here we're gonna take it back to 1. Let's create some curves as well here. So it just looks a bit more interesting that way. And I'm just gonna create those two to be, I'm gonna make those two to be linear instead. And actually I'm gonna break that one so I can control that one independently. Same with this. And let's see how it looks. Okay, so that's the end of the tutorial, and I hope you enjoyed it.